This is part 12 of Link to SQL tutorial. In part 11 of this video series, we discussed creating single table inheritance model, and we also discussed retrieving data. In this video, we'll discuss saving data to the database table using the single table inheritance model. We will be continuing with the same example that we worked with in part 11. So please watch part 11 before proceeding with this video. Now, to insert a row for a permanent employee into this employees table, we would instantiate a permanent employee object and then populate all the required properties. Along the same lines, to insert a row for contract employee, we would create an instance of contract employee class and then populate the required properties. Notice that discriminator property is not being populated here. The value for discriminator property is automatically computed depending on the type of object we are instantiating. For permanent employee, the discriminator property value will be permanent employee, and for contract employee it will be contract employee, because that's what we have configured when we were creating this single table inheritance model. So if you look at the properties of this inheritance relationship, notice that the derived class discriminator value for permanent employee is permanent employee, and for contract employee it is contract employee. Alright, so let's flip to this web form. Let's drag and drop a button control onto this form, and let's quickly change the text on the button to add employees, and let's also change the ID to btnAddEmployees, and then let's double click on that to generate a click event handler. And I have this exact same code already typed, so let's copy that and paste it within the click event handler. So what are we doing here? We are creating an instance of our SampleDataContext class, and then creating an instance of permanent employee, populating the required properties, and then creating an instance of contract employee, populating the required properties, and then we are passing the respective objects to insert on submit method. Now if you look at this insert on submit method, notice that it expects an object of type employee, but the objects that we are passing here are permanent employee and contract employee. How is this possible? It's possible because all these three classes are related by inheritance. Both permanent employee and contract employee classes are deriving from employee class, so we can pass them as derived types to this method. And finally we are invoking the submit changes method. So let's run this now, and let's click this add employees button. So the employee should have been inserted now. Let's click load all employees. Notice that we have Emma and Christy. Emma is a permanent employee and Christy is a contract employee. Let's quickly go back to SQL Server database table. Notice that the value for discriminator column is computed as expected. So for Emma, permanent employee, and for Christy, contract employee. Now the employee is an abstract class, so we cannot create an instance of the employee class. Trying to do so will throw a compilation error stating you cannot create an instance of an abstract class. Thank you for listening.